Hi, it's Ruby. Thanks for clicking on my video. So today's video, I'm super excited. I have my good friend Sanjay here, and we've been talking about doing this video for a long time. Sanjay recently got to go to Disney World with her family, and I have a bunch of questions that I wanted to ask her about her trip. And she also used the DAS Pass, which is a new pass that Disney World has issued out. So we want to talk all about it and get some information from Sanjay on her trip. And if that sounds interesting, please keep watching. So Sanjay, how are you?
Yes. Good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. So when did you take your trip?
We took our trip in early December. So it was December 8th, 2019. And we went for 10 days.
Okay. And so how far in advance did you plan your trip?
We booked February of that year.
February, you said. Okay.
Yes.
So one thing that I thought was really interesting about your trip is, you went with your parents and your children. So how old are your kids?
My kids we actually went for their birthday. So they were turning 4 and 9. They're 5 years apart.
Okay, 4 and 9. And also, you did not plan out everything yourself. You went through a travel agency, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so talk a little bit about the travel agency and like why you chose to go that route, because you're a great planner. I know you did a lot of additional stuff on your own, so we can talk about that too. But talk about that a little bit.
So I chose to go through a travel agency. One of my coworkers has a good friend that actually plans Disney trips, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave anything out. I have a son who has autism, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving out any details and I didn't miss any of the things that would make our trip more fun for him. Mm-hmm. So Courtney is her name, and it's Courtney with Enchanted
Vacations, I think, right?
Yeah, Enchanted Vacations. So Courtney with Enchanted Vacations, and she was really awesome, and she actually is the one that pointed me in the direction of the DAS Pass. I had no idea about it. Mm-hmm. And she let me know all the things that we could do with the DAS Pass. And so it was actually extremely helpful for my son. We were able to get on a lot of rides and not have to wait as long, or not know that he was waiting as long.
Right.
Rides. So that was extremely helpful for us. I then was able to plan around that for him and plan other activities so that he knew that he was having fun, but like he didn't know we were waiting.
Yeah.
For the ride at that time.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So you bring up the DAS Pass. I was trying to do a little bit of research on that as well. So everybody, you know, I'm a big, go on the Disney site, check out the mom's blog. DAS Pass stands for?
It's a Disability Access Service Pass.
Okay. And it's a card, but you were saying it was loaded onto your wristband.
Onto our wristbands, yes. Okay, so we were able to go right up to guest relations at the first park we went to, and we did it at Epcot. So we were able to go right into Epcot once we got in, go right past the check-ins and right to guest relations, give all of our whole party's bracelets to guest relations, and they pretty much loaded the DAS Pass onto all of our bracelets. We also had fast passes, so you can use the DAS Pass in addition to that pass. We had fast passes for certain rides or certain things, and then we could go to an additional ride and then get a DAS Pass for that ride. So you go up to that ride and they give you a certain time to come back for that ride, and that's your DAS Pass. So they would tell us 40 minutes, you can come back, and then you just walk through the fast pass line for that ride.
Okay. Oh, you mentioned that you guys had multiple day tickets, right?
Yes, we had 5 days.
Okay. Did you park hopper?
Yes, we did, but we selected the parks we wanted to go to.
Okay. And
twice.
Oh, awesome. But you only had to initiate the DAS Pass one time, right?
In the time, yes.
Park. Okay, so that's good. So guys, if you do utilize the DAS pass at any time. I know there'd probably be questions around that. You had to do it the morning that you were in the park, right? You couldn't do it ahead of time. And you
Correct.
could add it on to your bracelets for your whole family, right?
For the whole family.
For the whole family. And you can just have to do it one time. So if you have a park hopper or like an extended pass, then you could do it for the whole time that you're at the resort. That summarizes, I think. Really cool. Give me like an example of, okay, you guys go into, let's say, Hollywood Studios, and you want to go on a ride that you think London might like. So you just, what would you do? Explain like what your
My example is Slinky Dog was his favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing my son, I took the bracelet actually off of him, because if we walked up to the ride, he's going to want to get on the ride immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a child that when you walk up to the ride, they're going to expect to get on it, then I would suggest taking the bracelet off, because they will scan it and give you a time and tell you to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to, if it's a child that's going to want to get on the ride immediately, you don't want to set them off by making them have to come back. So I would take the bracelets off, get them scanned, and my parents would stand back with him and my daughter. And then I would then come back and tell my parents the amount of time, and then we'd be like, oh, let's go do this, like, or we would go use our fast pass ride then.
Okay.
Then we would then come back to the ride and then just walk on to Slinky Dog.
Okay. And you can only have, I think you said one at a time for the DAS pass?
Yes, you can only have one DAS pass at a time. So like, if you ride that ride, then you can go do another DAS pass ride.
Okay, cool. And you can still go through the whole process of getting your fast passes, so you'll still have those, but then you have the DAS pass for like anything else. Okay, that's awesome. So any other tips for the DAS pass users? I thought that was a really good one where you said you went by yourself just to make sure that there was not an expectation to go on the ride right away.
I'd say ask any of the questions you have at guest relations. They were really good, or even if you need to call in the middle of the park, I sometimes made calls. My daughter also got sick while we were there, and one of the days we actually couldn't go to the parks, and they were actually really good about, even with our fast passes, we lost the day of fast passes, and they were really good about reissuing our fast passes and like have a free day of fast passes, like where it wasn't specific rides, but they just gave us free fast passes, like 3 each. And we just rides for a day. So like they were really accommodating for all of the things we were doing, like with fast passes and the DAS pass. Because we had a sickness and a child with autism, they allowed us to do a lot of things, and they were really accommodating.
Yeah, that's good to hear, because on their website, they talk about, like come to guest relations and we'll work with you on whatever the concern is or what's going on. So that's awesome that they actually do that. They follow through with that. That's great. And then also you mentioned before to me that you had a dining reservation at like a really nice restaurant, and Justice was sick. So they were flexible with that as well.
Yes, because they do say that you lose those dining points. They actually didn't allow us to lose those dining points. They canceled our reservation, and then we kept the points, and we were able to get points at a different restaurant the following day.
Any other tips for the DAS pass other than that?
Not really any other tips, but just in general with the children with disabilities, you just want to be sure that, like, just for like either like characters or different scenarios, that you're really on top of it with your kids, because sometimes there are different parts of the park where they're not as, I'd say, on top of it about, they may not know that certain children may break down for certain things, like when characters are leaving or characters are coming and going, and they don't have signs that say like, hey, you could be standing in line waiting for characters and they leave for 30 minutes. And signs and things that say that. So my son actually had a hard time. He loves Buzz Lightyear, and we stood in line, and they're like, oh, Buzz is going to be gone for the night.
But they didn't tell you like you weren't going to be able to see him based off of where you are with the line.
Yeah, they didn't say anything. They were just like, oh, line, like from here back, you're not going to be able to see Buzz.
And you kind of,
go over well with him, and I And it was like maybe like the 5th time that day that kind of happened to us. And so like that was his favorite character. So I ended up talking to somebody and I was like, this has kind of happened to us all day. This is actually his favorite character, and it is the end of the night, and he actually waited patiently for this one. I just wanted to let you guys know, like maybe having a sign, especially for kids with special needs, like, hey, like Buzz will be leaving in this amount of time, or Buzz will be leaving at this time. You may not want to get in line, or blah, 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 would help, especially with parents with children with special needs, so that we can at least show them the sign, or there's something that like helps for those children.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking, like for him to see him, but just letting you guys know that would help. And I started to walk away, and then they allowed him to walk with Buzz to where Buzz was like leaving and walking off to.
Yeah.
But it was really nice of them to do that. But like, just like being accommodating and having signs would be a good suggestion. And I did like suggest that to them.
That's good. And we talked about this before too. At Disneyland, I had the opposite experience where like, if I was trying to get in the line, they would tell me like, oh, you're probably not going to be able to talk to them, or the line closed. Whereas at Disney World, and what park was it? It was Hollywood Studios you were in?
Yes. Okay. It happened at I'd say almost all the parks.
Really? Okay. That's so interesting. And so I guess, guys, that's a difference between the parks, but an area to improve on for Disney World. And I'm glad that you let them know, because that's important. I just had a thought too. So I know for the website, they talk about if there's any other things that you need, or you feel that the DAS Pass doesn't meet your recommendations, to talk to them. Did you have any experience with like maybe the shows, or like, gosh, I'm trying to think of like other times you might have to wait like in big crowds or anything. Did you hear, or did they talk anything about like, okay, I know that there's like a section for folks who are in wheelchairs, but was there any like recommendation on like fireworks shows or seeing the parades, like where to stand, or, be aware of like the sounds or the...
So there wasn't any of that, and they didn't have like special areas for children of danger. But like in certain shows, there was like a Lion King show. We did request to sit on the edge, like on the ends, just in case it got too loud, so that we could like maybe walk out. Mm-hmm. And that was a little bit harder, just because like they had like people had to keep walking across us. But like we did request to sit on the ends, and maybe even having like a special section for children that may like the noises might be too loud. We did take his sound canceling headphones everywhere, just in case noises got too loud.
Oh, that's a good tip.
It doesn't have noise sensitivities, but we did take them, because sometimes if there's too many noises, sensory things get a little bit too much for him, and it just bothers him.
Right.
But we did have those for him, just in case.
Okay.
So like, that is a good tip. Like, you might want to have those just in case.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's a lot of different noises.
Yeah. And then so I'd also just say, guys, utilize the Disney World app, because when you look at ride descriptions, they will talk about like rides maybe being scary, or like a lot of lights. And like, I know for me, when I was trying to pick rides for my children, I would look at that to see I need to maybe consider not taking them on this ride, or like you said, asking for an aisle location in case it does become too scary or becomes too much for the child. So that's good to know as well. How did Justice like the whole experience?
So Justice loved it, probably a little bit too much. She's like a hyperactive child who also has asthma. The different climates often trigger her asthma, so we tend to do her treatments probably by the middle of the trip every 4 hours, just to make sure kept her breathing regulated. So I know where all the outlets are at Disney. All of them.
Awesome. That's cool. And they had a lot, so that's...
Yes.
I've seen people charging their phones before, now that you say that. Like, but I've never used an outlet. That's good to know.
Yeah,
did you just look for them, or was there like, did you ask a cast member? How did you find them?
Originally, I asked the cast members, and then like I just started noticing where they were. A good amount of the bathrooms have outlets available, and then around the parks, like in like where the food areas are, there's a good amount of outlets as well.
Okay.
And if you can, before you go, to Disney, you can also ask whoever is providing your child with medicine or your nebulizer machine to prescribe you the battery operated nebulizer machines. And those actually help a lot too. So our doctor actually just prescribed one for us because she started softball. So
oh, that's really good to know. That's really good to know to like ask that. Yeah. So we touched on the fact that you had gone with a travel agent, and one of the reasons was to basically have somebody that could, you know, make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed with all the things that are available. What were some other benefits of going through a travel agent?
One of the other benefits is she was able to do my fast passes for me, and she was able to get on early and got literally all of the most popular rides for me. And she got all of the most popular age-appropriate rides for my kids. So it wasn't like any of the scary ones. It's everything that they absolutely would love for their age. A couple for me as well. That would be fun for like me and my parents. Yeah. She also did like our dining plan and the meals, and she got literally all of the most expensive restaurants. So like all of our dining plan was like well worth it.
Yeah, there's so many videos on that, like how to utilize your dining plan the best, but because she's done a lot of packages for a lot of different people, she's able to like tell you which one. So like, let's say you said you went to Ohana.
Yes, we went to Ohana. We went to Teppen Ito, which is a Japanese restaurant in Epcot, and it was delicious. They fully enjoyed it.
You went to all that stuff. So in your hotel, you were at a Disney hotel. That's an important thing to bring up.
Oh, yeah. We were at a Disney hotel. We were at Art of Animation, and we stayed in the Cars rooms, and it was a family suite, and it was fantabulous. Like, we absolutely loved it. My kids love the Cars theme, just the theme in general, like all of the themes. There was 3 different themes, and there was Lion King, there's Little Mermaid, and there's Cars. So like just seeing all of it, my kids love the hotel. The property has the largest pool there.
I know they love that.
It was wonderful. There's a bar by the pool for parents. There's playground for kids. It was wonderful.
Awesome. That's cool. And so the only thing though with that hotel is the transportation is primarily the buses, right?
It is primarily the buses or Uber. The buses leaving the hotel, wonderful. If you like going to the properties, for some reason, Art of Animation and another one of the hotels that's closest to us, I think like the buses coming back were like always the last, and like it took like it was like 10 to 15 minutes for like another bus to come in between, and like watching it was like 5 minutes or like 2 buses at a time came for like all of the other hotels.
Okay.
It wasn't like it was not many people staying at our hotel. It was like the most people and like large families, because it was Art is one of the family hotels, like with family suites, and so most of the large families were staying at our hotel.
Okay. So that's good. All right. Oh, I just want to circle back. So when you went in the morning to get your DAS pass, how long did it take to do the registration process?
I'd say less than 5 minutes. The line moved quickly. They had a lot of people, guest relations, so the line moved quickly, and they're putting, like, all of the Disney people are knowledgeable, so it moved really quick, and he was fun about it. It was extremely quick.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And so would you recommend to people to go during December for the holidays? It's a little earlier than the Christmas, but you get the decorations.
That's another reason why I use Courtney. So like my parents originally wanted to go for New Year's or Christmas. Kids' birthdays are December 18th and December 30th. So they wanted to go kind of for New Year's or Christmas. Courtney recommended us go before, especially for London. She felt like it would be too crowded and for him to go during those times, especially with the opening of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that was around that time.
During that time. And so I would recommend going at the time that we did, because the weather was good on some days. Some days it was boring. The day that we chose to do the Mickey parade and the Christmas party was pouring rain, but there were other days that were like 80 degrees and beautiful. So I do recommend it, and it wasn't crowded. It wasn't super crowded. It was nice.
Do you recommend people doing the Mickey Christmas party?
So like the day that we went, it was pouring rain, and then it stopped pouring rain, And when it wasn't pouring rain, it was beautiful. So, and my kids loved the parade. Mm-hmm. Absolutely loved it. They still talk about it. They want to go back. They want to see Santa and Mickey. So like, even though like I was furious and I was like, we spent all this money and it's pouring rain, my kids loved it and they still remember it. So like for them, it's a memory. And so like at this point, I think it's, they loved it. And that's what I wanted for them. I just was mad at the time, but hearing them talk about it,
I was mad for you when you showed me the forecast and it wasn't. So everybody, we talk about all the time about how Florida is unpredictable, but the forecast was not rain. And then that week it was like rain.
Yeah, with my poncho on, man.
Yeah. And you get cookies and hot chocolate, right?
So in my head, when I went, I thought it was going to be like with these warm cookies and this mug of hot chocolate. And it's packaged cookies in like a half cup of hot chocolate, honestly.
Yeah.
But like, and it's fine. Like it was fine. It just wasn't what I imagined. But when you go to the different areas, there are different versions of cookies, but you have to get there early.
Okay.
They're like late, like it's like 5 or 6 hours long, and the parade is late, but the good cookies are early.
So you feel like the benefit is the parade, and if you're a big cookie Christmas person, that might be a benefit. It wasn't like this like super fresh baked. Like I would think the same thing. Like it would be the ones out of their like bakery, but it's not. It's like a store-bought kind of cookie. Okay.
Right, and it's the people that just love Christmas and the decorations, and that want to ride the rides even longer. They just want to do rides and rides and rides, like those things.
So you'd say there's less people than during the day?
There were less people than during the day, but the ride lines, I feel like, still feel long.
Yeah.
They still feel long.
Yeah. Okay. I've never done the Christmas one, but I've done the Halloween. And a lot of the stuff you said is similar, but I did feel like they had more like special characters out. Did they have special characters for the Christmas?
The problem is because it rained, a lot of the characters were in, and they say that because the characters can't get wet.
Yeah, mess up their costumes.
So the second parade was super crowded because the first parade didn't run at all because it rained. So a lot of people did stay or did come out later. Like, people didn't come out until late because the first parade didn't run at all.
Okay.
So the second parade was packed.
Great. And yeah, I think I've seen like special costumes for Christmas. So that's probably maybe a different thing. If you'd seen a lot of characters, they should have been in different costumes.
Yeah. No, they were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But overall, you'd say, yeah, your kids loved it, so it's worth doing it at least once.
Yeah. And I feel like it makes me kind of want to go do like the different ones. Like I kind of want to go at Thanksgiving. I kind of want to go at Halloween now. Like
like the different seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah, I've been wanting to go to Disneyland and do the evening. They have like evening events like the Villains, or they had like a Pixar event recently. I've been wanting to go really bad, but obviously we're all not doing it right now. We're at in the world right now, but that's okay. Well, Sanjay, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I think I do want to have you come back on, and maybe we can just talk Christmas in general, because I've gone for Christmas and New Year's, and you went in December as well, and I've done Halloween, so we can kind of just like bounce ideas off and do another video at a different time. How do you think about that?
Sounds great to me.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you everybody for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully Sanjay decides to open her own channel, and so I'll link that below in the description as well.
All right, and maybe go on a girls trip.
Ooh, yeah, a girls trip. Check out the girls trip video. Special shout out to Courtney at Magical Enchanted Vacations by Courtney.
Yay, thanks, Courtney.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
me show you how to do it. Look, she's been knocking at the. When I got distracted, when I didn't know how to answer something, it was because she was knocking at the door. I was like,
I heard it, and it was fine because one of the things on my channel is like I'll just do #momlife when like the kids or the.
When I've seen, yeah, as he like ran into one.